welcome back everyone back to BitCubes. This is a development blog for the MCGParkManager plugin. Many people requested that I keep them informed on updates and such. Well, in last video I reported a review about the Park Manager and basically that was a great hit. Many people watched the episode and such. So to be short, I'm gonna show you things I built into the next update, which is not released yet. It's being built. I want to make sure that it's bug free before I release it. So yeah, let's start. So if I turn on my view back, where's well, I used to have an assistant here, Hitch Killer, but he is gone. Oh whoa, he is gone. I hear laughing on the background, and I see a rabbit over there, but where the hell is he? Oh my. Oh, there we have him. He's my assistant today. He's gonna show us the look from another side. Well, basically, the look from another side. He will show you when you're not a park owner and such. So, well, let's start with the first thing. I have made a list of all the options we are gonna talk about, which is the park firewall, the API DIN map integration, however you wanna call it, DIN map. Unlock seatbelt with commands, the anti-grief, engineer menus, upcoming features, and the bug fixes. Um, and before I start, where we are is on our test location. This is my test location. Whenever I use a function that I need to place somewhere with signs or such, I will do it here. As well as that we have my upcoming feature board over there with statistics of what everything is. It's in Dutch, that is so, but I will list them all later on. Well, to start off, when the park is closed, there was a question that the firewall that I made that keeps the park closed pushes back always in the same direction and extremely hard. Um, Before, when somebody walked against the firewall, they get pushed back like 20 blocks in one direction, and it never changed direction, no matter what way you're facing or such. I recoded that function and now use a different function. So if Hitchkiller can walk towards the center of this area, as you can see, he gets pushed back slightly. And if he walks to me and then walk again to the block, you can see that he's pushed back this way. It doesn't matter what way you walk in, it pushes you back in the direction you came from. So if I walk this way, as you can see, I get pushed back. It's a bit glitchy for yourself, but other people see you just fine. And for every time you hit the border, it will say that it's still closed. And if you have a penalty to pay, you get that message instead. So, well, basically, this will be the new firewall. The only bug that there is, but yeah, you have to be flying for that, is standing exactly on it. It will spam you full until you move and you get pushed out. You can change the configuration, the range check. So basically, I have set it default to 3, which is mostly enough for most people. Be warned, if you put anything higher than that, you can feel some lag or TPS issues on the server due to the fact it calculates a sphere around the player and then around their block. So basically, every move somebody said, it checks a sphere around the player in a radius of 3, normally to check if there is a security block in the area. If it's so, it pushes the player back, so you can turn the park closed and close them for multiple areas and directions. If I do /park, open park, as you can see, I get the message and I can walk over it again. And before people ask me what did you write on it, it's not just a redstone block, it's a park security block. So basically it's a redstone block with a sign underneath it which says between brackets park security. As simple as that. So basically I have added these lines and colors and such so I know which way I was thrown and such. Well, I was thrown between the green and the pink last time. And now I get thrown the way I walked from. So basically that's it. Anyways, well, we got the firewall talking done. Now we have the API DynMap integration. Well, it's awesome. I have added DynMap API into my Park Manager plugin, which means you can turn on or off the API if you don't want to use it or you don't have DynMap installed. Just turn it off in the configuration and you're done. If you turn it on, it will automatically connect to the Park Manager attractions and shows and will show them on the map. Currently on screen is the park map. And if you might notice, there are lots of icons on the map at the moment. And basically, if I open a park attraction, so let's choose an attraction. Let's take the Sky Tower. If we zoom into the Sky Tower and we watch it, we can do /park, open, and then Sky Tower. And now you can see on the map that the icon changes to another icon. You can also click the icon or the text beside it to open a pop-up balloon showcasing extra information about the attraction, its status, its waiting time, and the last time it's updated on the map. And of course, when new features are added or new information is there, you can basically show them on that same balloon too. I will add them to the balloon. It's more easy to add it than to edit it. So basically that's it. And for the shows, of course, we have shows. I'm gonna move the show sign here for a second. No, never mind. Let's just start show. Shows start. And then let's do it. If I start it, as you can see, the sign changes on the world map. And again, because it changes on the world map, you can directly see when clicking on it what show it is, what the status is, and last time it's updated, and the show countdown indicates it's the set time. So let's end it again. And now you see the icon back to the default one, which is inactive on the world map. What's also awesome is the set time command has been upgraded to integrate with DynMap. So if I do set time and then let's do it, and then I do like 1 minute and 20 seconds, and I press enter. As you can see, the countdown has been started. And as soon as you click the icon of that show, and you can see that the flag changed to yellow too, then whenever you click it, it takes a snapshot of the countdown remaining, and whenever you click it again, the time updates. So you can live see how long it takes before the show is happening. So, well, that's basically a DynMap integration at the moment. Of course, when the show starts, it will also update the status to start it on the live map. So it keeps doing that and it's live. So you don't need to do anything else to change things for DynMap and such. It's already integrated. There are no options. It just takes all the attractions there are, all the locations there are and such. So that's basically the system for DynMap. So we are back on my testing area and I lost Tim again, Hitchkiller. Where are you? Anyways, the API, we have done that. Are you stupid? Why is that? You don't know why you're stupid. Okay. Well, anyways, let's continue on to the next thing, and for that I'm gonna place a block with rails on top, and then a gold block beside it, 2 blocks further, also with rail on top. Whoop. And I'm gonna place a card. Whoop. Well, the new system I have added, because many people are walking against this, is the unlock the seatbelt with a command. Basically what this does is when a hitch killer enters the card, he cannot exit it anymore. He can try, but he cannot exit it. He gets back into the cart because its seatbelt is on. As soon as he hits the goal block, he gets ejected out like a normal roller coaster system. But what if you don't have that blocked yet? What is the problem with that? So if he now enters it, he cannot exit it anymore, no matter what he does. Reconnecting doesn't help, getting in doesn't help, nothing helps. So there we have the admin command for it. Soon it will be in the smartphone, but currently I have it as command. So have to do park, admin, unlock, and then the player name, for example Hitchkiller, and press enter. It says player unlocked, and he can exit the card again. No problem. So that's the seatbelt thing. It's very handy when you test an attraction that you can unlock yourself from the seatbelt. So that integration is also there. So if you're locked and you're engineer and in build mode, you can unlock yourself. Nobody else, just yourself. And as an admin, you can unlock other people and yourself whenever you want. So admin means park owner for this way. For the next thing, we have new anti-grief. Yeah. So you don't need any other anti-grief plugins anymore because my park handles itself. Yes, it handles itself. As you can see, I placed blue wool. Hitchkiller cannot break it, if I'm correct. He is an engineer, as you can see in the chat, if he chats. Hitch, can you say hi in the chat for me? In the chat. Sometimes again, please. Because I tested the rank things. As you can see, he has engineer rank. What you saw before it is he tag stacking. So if he has engineer and security and park manager, it will take the park manager as head rank and the security as engineer as lowers. So anyways, he has a purely engineer, and when he toggles the build mode on, he can destroy stuff and play stuff. When he turns it off, he cannot anymore. Also, in the configuration system where admin commands are being added at the moment, there is a list which will show the admin when he joins and when he presses the command who is in build mode at that moment. So you know it. And also you know when it's ended and when it started. So it will add it to a system. So basically what it does is as soon as Hitchkiller enters build mode, it will send off a signal to a list, active list, which will keep a, thank you, active list, which will keep players in that list as long as their build mode is activated. As soon as they disconnect or leave, the build mode turns off, they are removed from the active list and put in the ended list. They are removed from the active list, and then they have an end time updated to the current time. And when they start to use the build mode, it updates the start time. So basically, as soon as they activate it, the start time gets updated, they add it to the list, and as soon as they are done building, turn it off, remove from the list, update it end time. So basically the admin can always see whenever they start a build time and end a build time. So, well, it keeps the latest information. Excuse me. Anyways, that's basically the build mode. And for that we have engineer menu. So if I open my smartphone, as you can see there is a new menu next to management security engineer. When I click the engineer, he has his own menu on the smartphone with turn on build mode, turn off build mode. So basically, when you turn it off, it goes off. When you on, it's on. So if I click it, as you can see here on the left, you see build mode enabled. When I click it again, it says it's already enabled. If I turn it off again, it says build mode deactivated or disabled in this way. I press it again, it says that I'm not in build mode. So that's that. Now for the upcoming features, we are taking a look at the idea board. Excuse me again. I still need to get a drink. Anyways, we have 6 statuses. It's not possible in when we are talking to each other about something that we are gonna think of it. So we are still talking about it. It's wrong, it's broken, it doesn't work. Then we still need to do is red. Busy making it is yellow, and done is green. And as you can see, we have a board full of ideas. So let's go from the left to the right and then lower and lower. To start off, add park via phone. So basically what this idea means is that you can control everything from the phone instead of the configuration file. Also, adding attractions and shows and such are then from the GUI instead of the commands. So sooner or later you do not need to type any commands anymore. Everything is done throughout the menu and you get asked to type in a name or a number when needed. The anti-grief is done. As you can see, it's green behind it. So that's on the board. The multi-card system. Basically, what I thought about is a multi-card system. Many people were using train cards plugin, and basically the problem with that is that it attaches two cards together or more cards together, which is impossible to do without packet removal and remaking and such, or extreme heavy plugin functions. So I started thinking, how can I solve that problem? Well, I found the solution. Basically, you have a station, like normally, over here, which is always a time block. And there's always a card on it, and as soon as somebody enters it, it gets pushed into the direction of the emerald block. Well, I started thinking, and why not make a system that it checks if there are any cards behind it? Why not let it check if there is a green rule block behind it, and then play, and if there are cards above a light blue behind that, why not, if that one goes, so that they are all going same direction, same speed, same distance, and you can repeat that. Why not? So that's basically the multi-card system. You can make it as long as you want, no coding needed. Also was a request from another server to keep a distance, but that's what we later on. So basically that is the multi-card system. Then we have a suggestion. So basically the suggestion is made by one of my admins to include a phone number with your smartphone in game. So you can send private messages to other players and back, like texting. So that's possible. That is really possible. So I am going to integrate that. That's why it's on the list. So that's basically that. Then we have the station auto trigger, which is basically a system that checks if there is a redstone signal powered beside the attraction itself. It's possible that I'm gonna do that using a redstone lamp underneath the station block. What this does is when a cart arrives at the station and it's empty, you can trigger it manually to go without a player inside when powering it with redstone. Then we have here a parade system. Well, basically a show system that makes it possible to move structures along a path to show, well, cool structures you made, like cars and such. It's basically, that's returning back at it. I don't know if it's possible yet. I'm still investigating how I'm gonna do it and such. So be prepared. I don't know if it's gonna be in it. So basically, it's between all these options. I don't have a color for that yet. Then we have this one, these two to be exact, which is the waiting line. I saw another plugin which gave a one option only in the plugin, and that is a waiting line for access to certain structures. Well, why not add it to my card system? So what this does is basically set certain points as waiting steps. So let me create an example. Oh, I have here an example. For example, here we have the entrance. Here we have an entrance to a card. Here, and here. Using the multi-card system, we have multiple cards. Then we have, let me see, the waiting line. Let me change that a bit so you can know how much blocks it is. Anyways, the waiting line is basically a system that shows you the time remaining to wait before you move to the attraction itself. How I'm gonna do it is basically calculate how long it takes before the cart enters the station again. So as soon as you create the attraction and run it for the first time, if it's a roller coaster, you can auto detect it. So it starts testing to show you just enter the test command or press the test button and it will start testing. When it's arrived back, it takes a second, calculates the time of the attraction itself. Also, it checks how many cards there are. So, well, basically, if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, it makes a sum. So, basically, for example, the attraction takes 1 minute. Every 1 minute, 5 people can enter the attraction. So that's basically what it calculates. So when people enter the line, it will start moving them forward. So it checks if the position is occupied. So it checks if the attraction has a waiting line. If it's true, it has a waiting line, then it checks attraction. I'm terrible at typing. Attraction. Then it checks how many people are in the attraction. Then it checks how many are waiting in attraction. And then it puts you in the line. There's only one problem that many people say to me. What if the line is full? Well, simply, in real life, nobody can stand on top of each other, so full is full. So, for example, this is point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and lastly 10. This attraction has a waiting line of 10 slots. That's it. What this does is it checks, okay, you have 10 slots. The cards are already gone, So they are with 5 people in it, and 3 people enter the attraction. Well, basically it puts them on 1, 2, and 3. And whenever somebody else enters, it puts them on 4, 5, 6, and so on. What happens if the cards arrive? The players will be ejected by this block of gold, of course. So, when they get ejected by the block of gold, it removes them from the attraction, enabling the system back in the system. So, enabling back the counter. So, the user itself, the first 5 waiting, will be get moved forward into the perron where they can enter the cards. When the card is full, it's full, of course. When you use a multi-card system, the roller coaster will wait some seconds before it launches. So, depending on how much cards you add, it adds 1 second wait time. So, if you have 1 card, it goes directly. 2 cards in 1 second. 3 cards 2, 4 cards 3, and so on. So it will wait before it launches, so everybody can enter their card. Whenever everyone is in or the time runs out, the card goes, and if somebody is still on the perron because he did not enter the card, well, basically he gets kicked out. So what do I mean with kicked out? Well, as soon as the card starts driving, it checks if all the people that are supposed to be on the attraction are still in the attraction. If not, it removes them from the attraction and moves them back to the entrance of the attraction. So you have to reline to enter it again. It's a bit advanced to explain, but well, it started working very easy when you are starting to use it. When it's done, of course. Some things can change, but I'm not sure. I think this is the best way. So it keeps rotating and looping the same options over and over again. So that's basically the waiting line. And the next beside it are the teleport points, which I talked about just a moment ago. You can also add a time calculator in manual mode, so not using the waiting line but using waiting times. And then you can just think of, well, basically you can say, I wanna say the attraction takes like 10 minutes. I enter the command for 10 minutes. And then the waiting time will update to 10 minutes. And you can do that again and again and again to change it for that attraction. So when using the waiting line with teleport points, it does it automatically. Otherwise, you have to do it manually. Going to the right is speed blocks. Also a suggestion of one of my customers. Simply place a block underneath the track. Well, basically you have multiple different blocks. I don't know what blocks I'm gonna use yet. So, sorry if I did something wrong, but anyhow, for example, netherrack is a speed block and the other nether stuff. For example, these three are the speed blocks. Then you have the first one, which is twice the speed it was going, third times the speed it was going, four times the speed it was going. That's basically the speed blocks. What are you doing? Okay. Anyways, these speed blocks must be placed underneath the railway to speed up the cart going over it. And for the next one, it's also for the phone. Um, well, they told me, what if you can add a function to send a TP request to a player using the phone, like the chat message. I'm still thinking about that. I'm not sure if that's a correct idea to do, because then people can teleport all over the park without using park commands and such, just using the smartphone, teleporting to players, annoy them. And even so, they can teleport to a player that's in an attraction, so I'm still not sure if I'm gonna do that. And then we have the Parkcraft API add-on. Well, basically that is for my use. If it's popular enough and people react on this video for like, I want it too, I want it too, I might release it, but it's a separate plugin. So it's an add-on. Just I like to want to show you. Roller coaster, thanks to something, is still in the thinking phase. I was requested by one of my admins, why not add an effect to a roller coaster? Like for example, you uh, let it drive over a trigger block, and when it rides over the trigger block, it activates an effect later on in the attraction, like an explosion or fire or smoke. Well, it's possible. I'm still thinking of it. I have no idea how I'm gonna do that, but it's planned. Next one, per attraction block status change. So basically, when you have the sign that says open or closed, it will change the block behind it if you toggle that option on for that attraction. So normally you have a sign that says, for example, open for the attraction on the second line. Um, and what if you place wool behind it or toggle the option or something? It will change the block behind it to like green wool if it's open, red wool is closed, or yellow wool if it's in maintenance. So it's more obvious what status the attraction is. Then we have the animated entrance gate. Well, we normally use the firewall, of course, but why not add a system beside this firewall that will, when you close the park, spawn a gate animation. So you just simply place iron blocks where you simply then place the iron blocks, set them as a park gate, for example, and well, basically they do an animation, open or close. I'm still in the thinking how I'm gonna do that. That's why I'm not working on it yet, but it's working. The unlock card command, which we just talked about, and then we have something important: the too deep system. Normally, what I have currently have is an attraction with the rails directly on the effect blocks, as I call them. Well, some people request, like my customer, that well, it looks ugly if you show a diamond block and an emerald block and a gold block underneath the rail. So why not make a system that's toggleable that makes it too high? So it checks instead of the rail on the block underneath it. So instead of it checks this one, it checks the block underneath that. So basically, when you have this one, like this, let me get some blocks. Thank you. Basically, when you have a station like this, I am going too fast. Basically, when you have a station like this normally and you have rail going over it, they say it looks ugly. Well, basically what this does is it enables you to put it here instead of directly underneath it. Which enables you to make attractions in team without breaking the team by putting these blocks underneath it. Oh, there's a hole in the floor. So that's basically the too deep system. And then we have the web script add-on. Well, you know, well, many people know that they like to have a information about the park and the shows and such to display online. And many people make their own website and they just type it over, edit it, type it over, edit it, and keep doing that continuously to update statuses, to update information and other things. What if I make a CMS system, a small one, that shows the status of all the attractions, all the shows, with extra information, with icons, with mobile friendly, tablet friendly, computer friendly, everything friendly, show park information, show anything else, just inside a CMS script that works together with the plugin. How do you think about that? And I can tell you one thing, it's busy, it's in progress, and it's working already. Yeah. I need to find some fixes first before I'm gonna put it to green, but still working. Which is also a big addition which I'm working on, which I don't think it's in the next update, I'm not sure yet. It's the custom show system. What the is the custom show, as many people are asking? Well, in one word, amazing. You have the normal show system where you just toggle a setting and the show starts and you have to do everything by yourself. You have the fireworks show which sets launch random fireworks and such. Why not make a system that you can make a show by yourself? So I'm gonna set it up here. The first things first, you create a custom show, which is a C show called create C show. You get asked for a name in the chat, so you enter the name. If it already exists, you can try again. If you don't exist, it creates it. It then will open a new menu where you can add effects, remove effects, and list the effects. What's also into that menu, excuse me, is the timeline builder. And of course you can start, stop and such. So basically that's, well, you can start the show only and start delayed. That's basically that this one. And the timeline builder is the biggest thing I'm working on at the moment, which makes it possible to make as long show as you want, and you can program it per second. How does this work? I can tell you and I can show you right away. So let me first grab a beacon block, some iron blocks. Okay, as soon as you want to edit the show, it needs launch points. So you can add a show block or remove show block. I'm terrible at typing. What you also can do, well, basically whenever you toggle one of these, it starts the placement or removal mode. So when you toggle it, you get a random block. Let me see what block I'm gonna connect to it. Well, I don't know yet, but for example, you get snow in your hand with a special name and such. In the addition mode, you simply look at the ground where you want to place it. Well, I'm gonna, let me see. This is the floor. No, this is not the floor. This is the floor. Yeah, this is the floor. No. Well, let's say this is the floor. And you want it to launch anything you want, for example, water, fireworks, or lasers. Well, that's simple. Just click with your snow block, place it on top. So right click. It will directly remove and add that as a show block. You can keep doing it. Anyways, when you're done with that mode and you turn it off again, all the points will change to a beacon with a lapis block on top and iron blocks underneath it. So this is basically the show block, and yes, you can put them against each other. It will just extend it like this. So it will just extend it, as you can see. Um, what's also important is that you want to be able to make animations and custom stuff, you know? That's why I've added a thing which makes it possible to use channels. The way to do this is hold the block in your hand, of course, which you are using to place the show blocks. But before you place it, you shift and you got scroll. As soon as you scroll up, it goes up. When you scroll down, it goes channel down. Channels are basically linked show blocks. So when editing in the timeline editor, you can say, for example, I want channel 1 to launch a firework and channel 2 to launch, let me see, channel 2 may launch a laser, for example. Then they are working separately, so you can say I want channel 1 to do that and channel 2 to do that. But what if you want to have more things being working at the same time? Now, simply give this one a 1 and a 2 again, and here we have another one. So basically, whenever you trigger channel 1 to launch, for example, a green firework, it shoots a green firework from this one, and this one. Whenever you think I start a laser in the color green from channel 2, it starts from here and here. For the effects and such, basically whenever you use a laser, it changes the block of lapis above to the color you set in the effect. And for fireworks, it starts the fireworks, spawns the fireworks there, when I put this block over here. And for water, it spawns a water block as high as you configure it to be from the block it's launching from. So basically, when you set it to 3 high, it spawns here, water block here, here, and here in animation. So it basically does at every step, it does 1, 2, 3, and up. It goes pretty fast, but well, basically that's how the things work. So that's the show system. And for the show builder, it's a separate GUI and separate config file. So every custom show gets its own config file where everything is put in. So for example, I create the show test, so it creates a new file, test.data, into the show folder, which is inside plugins folder. So plugins, the park manager, and then shows. I'm missing an S, but you know the deal. So it creates its file. And why is my caps on? What this just basically creates is a file with every effect and such linked to only that show. So you can create different effects for different shows and different setups for different shows and such. And you can use basically the same show blocks for other shows too. So if there is already a show block here, for example, just place the add block for that show, the new show that you want to create, on top of it, and you're done. It adds it also. So basically that's adding a same show block for 2 shows. The timeline builder works as followed. You get a GUI with different buttons, and you can select a time you want to change. For example, I want to change it to first second. On the first second, I want it to trigger channel 2. I want it to launch this effect. And basically what it does, it executes that command. On the first second it launches. To add a command on the same second, just keep it like that. Simply press save first, save step, go back, leave the first second, change the channel if you want to change the channel. Well, of course it's needed because you did the first channel already. So change the channel, And then, for example, say I want to launch a laser, whatever you want to call it, effect number 2. Then it adds effect number 2 on channel 1 on the first second, and when you press this button, it adds it to the list. So basically, it's endlessly possible. Possibilities. You can change it higher and lower. You can change the time if ever you want. And when you are done editing the timeline, you just click End Editor. And when you click the End Editor button, it ends the editor, saves the file again, for just to be sure, and then adds the whole show to the normal show system, which basically adds the show to the normal show system, showcasing signs and such like normally. You can trigger the custom shows at the same way using the normal show commands, but also the custom show menu. So you can do it whatever you like. That's basically the show builder, which currently has 4 effects being planned to build in. So let me take a block. The first one is fireworks. The second one is lasers using beacons. The third one is waters. Thank you. And the fourth one are lamps. And you think lamps? What the? Well, C-show lamps are a separate effect. What it basically does is replace some things and place a lamp on the block where you place the effect. So, for example, this is the show block, and as soon as you say it must be a lamp, it disables all other effects on that same second. It disables the other effects on that second, so you cannot put it on top of another effect. So you cannot use a firework whenever that light is on. And whenever you trigger it, the light goes on. And as set in the effect settings, it keeps on like so many seconds and then disables itself or anything like that. It still needs to be a little bit worked through, but I think I'm gonna add a option to remove it like the second later and then trigger those effects directly after it. So whatever you need to do first is whenever you trigger the lamp, it basically replaces the lapis block for a redstone block with a lamp on top. That's burning, so it creates light. Whenever you are done, like the next seconds, you first, before you trigger any other effects, you say turn lamp off on that channel, and it turns it back to the lapis block, and you can use it for all the other effects again. So that's basically a lamp system. And why did I add that? Because some shows require lamps. And for the water part, I'm thinking about adding lava too, just to make it a little bit nicer. And then we have the next one is hold block for roller coasters, which is basically a two-way system, also working with channels. You place a block underneath the rail at the part where you want the cart to stop, and you place a trigger on the rail, underneath the rail, when you want to trigger the second rail. So it's remote redstone, basically. So what this does is create different channels, different setups, and so you can make a waiting line or keep the cart on a steep hill for so many seconds before triggering the next cart on the road, going up and going forward. This way you can also hold anything you want on the rail. You can, for example, have 2 roller coaster trains on the same track but with one station. What you just need to do is set a start on the start of the attraction that triggers the start of the stop block before the station. So it holds the cards in place. Anyways, that will be explained later on when I have worked it out a little bit more. Spawn and remove card block is still thinking if I'm gonna add it or not, because what it does is when you click the command, it spawns a card, or when somebody's in the waiting line, it spawns a card and removes a card and such. Well, it was an idea of one of my customers. I'm not sure if I'm gonna implement that, but it's on the list. Dim map integration, we talked about it earlier, and dim map add-ons. What this does is basically add the option in the admin menu to add custom mark beacons. So people need to know where are the toilets, for example. Well, here's toilet, here's toilet, here's toilet, and it will show it on the map, as well as if it's occupied or not. So basically, I'm gonna add a full system for extra things like an information kiosk or toilets or anything else that needs an icon, and you can suggest it, of course, in my pages page discussion area or beneath this video. And that's basically the upcoming feature list that I'm currently working on. I don't say that everything is in it at the next update release. That's impossible. But I'm working out like as fast as I can to add as many as I can. So that's this thing. For the bug fixes, yeah, there is a bug fix. There was a bug before with the attraction triggers. So it gave a null pointer exception whenever you try to delete an attraction or rename. That's because it did not check if you entered a number or a name. I solved it. I added a checkup, so it checks if it's a number or not. Because when you remove or rename an attraction, you need to enter the ID of the attraction into the command, like before. And what that does is, well, it makes sure that you delete the correct one and not the wrong one. So when you ever entered the name, it could not find it and throw that error at your face, which is not nice to do so. I fixed that just a moment ago before starting this video. Did I forget anything, H-Killer? Did I forget anything? Oh, what did I forget? Nothing. Oh man. And you can ignore those things. It's just a bit of trolling around. And that over there is a swimming pool and such. Well, if you want to see the world map live, it's always active. You can see it on the address. It's currently on the screen. And if you want to join my park to test some stuff out with me or to test functionality of this plugin for visitors, you can do so. You can also, of course, check other features of this plugin, but then you need to donate here. So, and otherwise, you can also buy the plugin if you don't have it, or if you have it, try out the new features showcased in the last video. Because this is a devlog, it's not released yet. See y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks HKiller for helping me. And I hope to see y'all next time in the next video update about this plugin development. See y'all next time. Good luck!